3. Oh yeah, I'm gonna feel that tomorrow. 4.
Today is December 24th, and it is officially Christmas Eve. And with that being said, I am wearing what I think to be a Christmas festive outfit. You can't go wrong with red and green around Christmas time. And I'm gonna be going to the gym soon, but before I do that, I'm gonna eat breakfast and then go get a haircut by Marissa at the Green Room in Waterloo. And if you have not been to the Green Room in Waterloo, I highly recommend it for your haircuts, and ask for Marissa because she's one of the best in the area at what she does. Been going to her for about 3 years now, and have not regretted it once. My parents are gonna be coming down south from up north where they live, and the roads are not the best this weekend, so hopefully you know, that doesn't get canceled or anything. Very much looking forward to seeing them because it has been a while. And with them being so far, I don't get to see them all the time. So the holidays are usually the time when I do get to spend some time with them, and I'm gonna spend time with my in-laws side of the family. This is gonna be kind of like an overall Christmas vlog over the next few days. We're not easing off the throttle at all when it comes to working out, not going completely off the diet or anything. We definitely are staying dialed in and focused, because it's times of the year like this, on holidays, where we can tend to let up a little bit and then lose track and just lose our place a little bit, and then that can snowball into not a great situation when it comes to staying lean or just staying in shape, especially after a big weight loss was complete, like in my case. So we're gonna stay focused, not gonna go too crazy, but definitely still gonna enjoy ourselves over this Christmas holiday.
Alright, so today is a leg day, and the one thing I want to just mention briefly before getting into it is the importance of stretching and the importance of loosening up your hips, especially when you're doing a movement like a squat or even leg press or split squats, or literally anything, honestly, you're doing with your legs and involves hip mobility. You need to make sure that you open up the hips, you stretch out. 5-10 minutes before your workout is not going to kill you, and that's something that I definitely learned with age, just getting older and experience. I used to go right into squatting with heavy weight too, and that's something that now that I do stretching, I realize the lack of depth I had before and the tightness I had. Again, this is something that I've seen and heard literally 1,000 times on YouTube from other people, and it's something that I've always neglected because I'm like, oh, I'm young, I don't need to do it, like I have enough mobility being the age that I was and stuff, and that's simply not the case. Like, if you haven't practiced stretching, it's one of those things that you can only get better at, and your muscles and joints will only loosen as you practice it. Doesn't matter necessarily what age you are. So that's something that really I want to stress. If you are watching this, make sure you stretch out all of your muscles, especially before you're doing a leg day. You want to do it for any body part, but legs I would say is the most important, because that actually affects your squatting mobility and how low you can come with the bar if you're doing squats, or how low you can go with the leg press machine if you're doing leg press. Just gonna continue my warm-up with some very light leg extensions, making sure to pause at the top and come down very slowly. I'm not at all trying to tear down the muscle fibers at this point. I'm literally just trying to get blood into the muscles. And the best way to do that is time under tension, which just means taking the exercise very slowly, pausing at the bottom and the top of the exercise, and going light so that you're not overstressing, especially because we're not fully warmed up yet. And when I'm doing warm-up sets on machines and stuff, I'll do about 2 sets per exercise. But for actual working sets, I'll do about 3 to 4 sets depending on the time that I have or depending on how volume intensive the workout is. It feels so ridiculous in this outfit, by the way. When is green and red ever a good match other than at Christmas time? So still just in the warm-up phase right now. Just doing very light hamstring curls to get the hamstrings fully warmed up as well, to match the quadriceps.
It don't matter where we go, it don't matter if we lose it all, 'cause when I'm with you, yeah, I know everything will be alright. It don't matter.
So first real working set of this leg workout for me is going to be the leg press machine, and I'm just working my way up right now with some warm-up sets. I did just the machine. Now I've loaded a plate on each side, and I'm going to work my way up to 3 plates per side. Might push 4, but I'll probably just end up staying at 3 because this is my second leg day this week. I'm on the second rotation for this week, so legs have kind of just fully recovered in the last day or 2, so I don't want to push them too much. I just want to get stimulation. Very important thing to note when doing leg press: do not lock out your knees like this. You don't want to fully lock them out because you will put extra stress on your knee joints, and you also, if you're doing much heavier weight, you can risk hyperextending your knees. So come to the bottom of the rep and then just end your rep just before the lockout. So right here, you will still feel tension on your quadricep muscles, and that is what you want. You want your muscle to take the load, not the joint. And as for the bottom of the rep, you want to come down far enough to where you feel a nice stretch where your glutes meet your hamstrings, but you don't want to go too far and risk injuring yourself.
I scream and it goes silent. I fight so hard, but I can't fight my way out. Lost all dimension and time. Locking your voice in my mind, and this goes down. And this goes
All right, so I have decided to go for 4 plates a side for my working sets. This is not an ego thing by any means. I just was able to get 12 reps pretty comfortably with 3 plates a side. So in order to get some overload on the muscle, I'm gonna go for 8 reps with 4 plates a side. And I'm gonna be, again, focusing on form, making sure I'm not getting my back off the back pad to risk injury, making sure I'm not locking out the knees, making sure I'm coming down as far as I possibly can, again, without my back coming off the back pad here. And I'm gonna get, I think I can push for 8 reps. So that'll be some nice overload on my muscles. It'll feel very heavy, but I'll still be able to be within that bodybuilding rep range of about at least 6 to 8 reps minimum. Oh, this is gonna be heavy. Yep, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I'm gonna feel it tomorrow. 4. 5. Nice. All right, so next up we are back on the leg extension machine. I'm going to be aiming for these working sets to do 3 sets and about, I would say 8 to 12 reps on this one. I don't want to go past 12 reps on this machine because I am trying to get 3 sets all in the 8 to 12 range. So if I do 15 on the first one, I might not be able to get in the 8 to 12 range on the next 2 sets. Now, if I was resting like 5 minutes between each set, I could do that, but I'm trying to keep my rest time a little bit lower just to focus again on time under tension and trying to kind of train for volume here while also training heavy as well. But again, if I was going for just pure strength and pure numbers, then I would take as much time as I need in between each set. But that's not the goal here. The goal here, again, is time under tension. The goal is to break down these muscle fibers so that they can rebuild and come back bigger and stronger next time. All right, so let's hop on the hamstring curl machine. I'm gonna do the same weight that I was doing on the quad extensions. And I'm gonna be doing the same rep range, 8 to 12 reps, and I'm gonna be doing the same sets as well, so 3 sets on this exercise. This one you really want to pause at the top and slowly bring the weight back down. It should take you about 3 to 4 seconds maybe, I would say, to bring the weight back down. That's 1, to avoid injury, pulling a hamstring obviously, and 2, it really helps that hamstring grow when you put extra sort of fatigue and stress on it. A good kind of stress, not the bad kind obviously. And hamstrings are one of those muscle groups that most people lack, just because the quads are so dominant usually for most activities. But the hamstrings are very essential to balance out with the quads, whether it's bodybuilding or any kind of physical activity. Well, I think seated calf raises are fairly self-explanatory, not much to really get into here when it comes to form, but one thing I would highly recommend is that you have your, I guess, knee pads here at the right level. You want your foot and your leg to be at a 90-degree angle by the time you're putting pressure on the knee pads, so that when you lift off, you have safe clearance here. One of the worst things you can do is have this too low, lift off, and then not be able, like when the weight is too heavy, not be able to get this back in, and you're kind of just stranded with stress on your calves. That's not a pleasant situation to be in. So make sure your knee pads are at the right level. Make sure your weight is not too heavy. And in terms of rep ranges, I like to go high. I like to really work the calf muscles, usually between like 15 to 20 repetitions, maybe even squeeze out a bit more by bouncing it at the very end. But again, we want to use the same form technique with all the other exercises. We want to pause at the bottom and the top of the repetition and slowly lower the weight down. So I'm going to start at the very top here, not use my hands to use any extra leverage on this. I'm going to just slowly lower to the very bottom, come up, and I can already feel the strain in my calf muscles, like a good strain. Probably because they're not fully recovered from the workout before. which is a good thing because calves are extremely resilient. I mean, you're walking on them all day long, especially probably for women more so than men, especially if you wear heels at your job or if you go to a lot of functions. Your calves will be extremely resilient. So those high repetition ranges and going heavy enough will definitely make sure to tackle your calf muscles and have them feeling sore the next couple days after. So again, we're not bouncing the weight like this. We are lowering the weight onto the bottom there, coming all the way at the top, pausing at the bottom and the top. And then when it's done, grab the weight, re-rack it, and that's it. And that is going to wrap up the workout for today, guys. I have to get back home to prepare some food for our festivities later tonight, so I'm going to wrap it up here. If you guys have any questions regarding any of the workout exercises that I did today or anything that I do at all in the gym, feel free to ask down below in the comment section. I'm more than happy to explain more in detail, more in depth what exactly I'm doing, and I can even make a future video on it if I get enough questions on that particular topic. So feel free to comment down below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Well, I just finished preparing 2 layers here of some traditional Romanian snacks or appetizers called mici or mitite. And these are ground turkey, lamb, and beef. Usually you use ground pork instead of ground turkey, but my in-law side of the family doesn't really eat pork, so we did a substitution with turkey instead. So those will be really delicious, and we have some wine too and stuff like that. But right now we're gonna head over to my uncle's house. We got all the gifts for our family ready to go here, and we are gonna head over there. And yeah, the first function of this weekend's festivities is gonna commence tonight, and we're very excited to spend some time with family. And I want to take this time now to wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
Este pensamiento de los poetas griegos les dice a ellos, como dijeron nuestros poetas.
If you go to war, then I'm going with you. Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I want.